I am going to be shooting it straight today. And so I want to say right now, if you're not in the mood for some real talk around being a mother and what we need to do in terms of like next steps to growing our families and growing our families, taking care of ourselves, doing the hard work of mothering, then I'm advising you right now to turn it off. I'm advising you right now to turn it off because this is not for you. This is a real talk message about legacy and our children. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Brooke-Sidney, and I am the owner of a company called Bella and the Babe, which is all about empowering authentic and mindful motherhood. I'm also the creator of the Mama Love Planner, woo woo, I love it, which is the planner that helps mothers get more self-care time, figure out their self-care goals, live a more mindful and intentional life, level up. It helps us level up. It helps us be intentional about our lives and our families. So today I'm getting on to do some real talk. Normally I get on here and I dance and I have a lot of fun, and I think appeal to your hearts and your fun and your levity. But today I am getting on to shoot it to you straight, because I've noticed some things that are coming up, not just in motherhood, but in our society that I feel like needs to be addressed. So first and foremost, I'm going to ask this question, and I really hope if you're listening, right, as they say when you're in church, if you're coming up under this word, if you're hearing me, that means this message is for you, right? If not, turn it off now, okay? I'm warning you, because this is not going to be a message that soothes our egos as mothers or makes us feel good. In fact, I'm going to get a little bit in your face today. The big question that I have for mothers out there and women is, what legacy are you leaving your kids? So by that, I mean, what type of mental, emotional, and spiritual health are you giving them? Most of us go to work each day. We sit around. We are planning, some of us, so funny, I got this Gerber thing in the mail, life insurance, plan for your kids' education. We're storing away money for our retirement. We're doing all of these quote unquote legacy building things, but yet we're leaving so many stones unturned. So many rocks are not being addressed, as it appears to, really looking deeply at the imprints, the baggage, the psychology, the spiritual life, and the tools that we are leaving our children. I'm just giving it to you straight. So we spend a lot of times as mothers balancing budgets, taking kids to school, dropping off kids at activities, making lunches, and doing all these mothering things that we have to do, right? That is the job that we signed up for. But I'm here to tell you today that if you think that that is the only job, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. And I'm saying this to you as your friendly mama reminder. I'm saying this to you because our work, especially in 2018, is so much deeper and so much more evolved, and more is expected of us, just like more is expected of our children. And so we need to equip them with more than they gave us. Okay. So let me back up, because a lot of people are wondering, well, what do you mean by legacy? What do you mean by legacy? Like I've set up money in an account for my kids' education. When I retire or when I die, there are going to be things. Yes, I'm actually an attorney, so I understand estate planning and that legacy sort of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that our children are seeing every day that are going into their subconscious, that are going into their spiritual understanding, that are going into their psychological makeup, their mental and emotional health. Mamas, what legacy are you leaving? And by that, I can even peel it back a little bit further. Let's look at our own childhood. Let's ask ourselves, are there things that we now know we're dealing with, coping with, handling, overcoming because of things that our parents gave us. And if you're really honest with yourself, you know that I'm telling the truth. Our parents, no fault of their own. This is not a parent shaming talk, not at all. It is a real talk about responsibilities. So our parents did the best that they could, right? And that's all that we can ask for. They did the best that they could. So they, parented us the best way they could. They disciplined us the best way they could. They motivated us. All of these things, they did the best that we could. So with that being said, there were areas where they fell short. If we're real and honest, there are areas that they fell short. And quite often, they probably didn't have the tools or the resources or even the knowledge that they were in fact falling short. Most of our parents, whether you're a millennial or Gen X or whatever, our parents were parented differently. So they parented a certain way, right? More authoritarian, less emotional connection, less encouragement, although there are pockets of parenting that were reactionary to that. And now we have even more narcissists and narcissistic personality disorders because they were over catered to. But by and large, most people walking around today are carrying with them something that occurred to them in their childhood. No fault of their own. We even know from 0 to 5 how much a mother in particular imprints upon the child. It actually, our thoughts, emotions, and feelings, even when our babies are in the womb, they are affected by these things. So do you not think that they're being affected as they are walking around and seeing us? So the thing that I realized over the past probably couple of weeks, I just came off of a gratitude challenge where I offered a lot of amazing content around gratitude, self-care, and mindfulness, because I do believe that mindfulness is the key to helping us as women and mothers be the best that we can be, to operate at our highest potential, and to truly provide the right legacy, the best imprinting that we are capable of. And if you're a spiritual person, be the person that God intended us to be, right? He gave us a brain, he gave us an eye, he gave us hearts, right? The universe, if that's what you respond to. We are equipped with all these things. And most of the time, we are not using them. We're not using them. We are numbing ourselves out. We are becoming distracted. We're spending more time on the internet doing mindless activities. We're watching, quite frankly, useless television most of the time because life is hard. We're distracted. We have so many things that we're doing. We're juggling so many balls. And on top of it, most of it has no value whatsoever. And guess what? We're becoming more run down, more stressed out, less spiritual, less aligned, less in tune with whatever is your spiritual, discipline or practice. We are unhappy. We lack contentment. And of course, we're less happy and we have less inner peace. But yet, here's the kicker for me. This is the kicker for me, is that no one seems to care. No one seems to care or be taking any real steps to change it. So that's why I'm concerned about the legacy that we're leaving our kids. Mamas, we're living in 2018. We're not living in 1990 or even 1960. The things that are expected of us are actually different. We're evolving as human beings, or we're expected to. And so with that comes evolving our mental health, our emotional health, and our spiritual development, which then passes on to our children. If you didn't watch the live or the scope that I did earlier about how our children are watching us, I encourage you to go back and watch that, because I go into that even more in more depth, because our kids are watching. Most of us think, well, we're telling our kids what to do, and even when we're reading with their kids, blah, blah, blah. Our kids are looking at us, not when we're directly interacting with them, but how we are operating in this world, how we speak to people, our disposition, how and when we make time for spirit. Our kids are watching. And so if your life in 2017 did not feel the most joy that you could feel, you didn't feel peaceful, you're suffering from mama guilt, anytime that you want to make time for self-care, you feel bad about it, that's a problem. That's a problem. And although it looks like something, like a little pebble in your shoe, that pebble grows into a rock. And if you don't address it, guess what? The patterns that you are exhibiting, the thoughts, the way that you problem solve, the way that you deal with frustration and stress, and the way you don't take care of yourself, mama, you're teaching your children to do the exact same thing. You are. And if I cannot implore you enough to think about your own health, right? And I'm not here to promise you that you do a mindfulness program or a gratitude program that you're going to make $1 million. That's not my sale. That's not my shtick. I'm not. This is the real talk, right? This is the real talk. I'm not here to sell you that. I'm not here to sell you that if you do a mindfulness gratitude program, you do coaching or whatever with me, you use the Mama Love Planner, that you're going to make $1 million. No, I'm not here to sell you that. What I am here to say is that you will feel better about your life. You will have more inner peace. You will have more confidence in your mothering, and you won't feel guilty anytime you want to take time away, quote unquote. I don't really look at it as a way because I don't suffer from that mama guilt like I used to. Because I know that it's good for me, and I know that it's good for my children. And not only do I know it, I believe it. I've done the work. I believe it. I see the fruit of it in my life. No, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire, right? No, I'm not here to tell you that if you become more mindful that you're going to lose 100 pounds, become your desired weight. You can, because you're going to be more mindful of why you're eating, right? My goal is to have you feel better about your life. And my goal too is to make sure that the children that we are developing that see us every day are getting the right information and the right tools. Because what I'm teaching, mindfulness, gratitude, self-care, intentional living, they don't teach that in schools. And mamas, I don't know where you're going to get it. It's not something that you just pick up along the way. These practices, meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, prayer, journaling, conscious living, self-reflection, mindful movement, all of these things, this lifestyle, it's intentional, it's conscious, it's a choice by choice movement. So I'm urging you to spend some time, reflect on 2017, reflect on 2015, especially if you had kids then. Reflect on it and say, what legacy am I leaving? Am I doing the best that I can do right now for myself in order to benefit my children? Am I spending enough time on the things that matter most to develop myself, knowing that my children will be benefited from it? Am I? And am I making the right investments in myself so that I'm constantly growing? Because these types of lifestyle changes, these types of mind shifts, they don't come on their own. Because guess what? If they did, you would already have it. You would already be doing it. And even in my gratitude challenge, I just scratched the surface. There's so much more that's there and to learn and to develop. But you have to be willing to show up, and you have to know that you're worth it and your kids are worth it to take our mindfulness and our lives, our health, not just physically, that we seem to place so much emphasis, right? Because it's the outer, not just physical health, but our mental health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health, which are, I argue, they are equally as important, if not more. Let's start putting some stock there. Let's start making some investments there. Let's start looking into our budget and figuring out what we can move around so that we can make investments so that our kids see us as happy, as healthy, as whole, as loving, as having the ability to connect with them, as having the patience, having the joy, and showing them that it's okay to take time for ourselves, to take care of ourselves. This is the legacy that we want to create in 2018, right? It's not just a financial legacy. It's not just putting away money for college. It's make sure that we are giving them spiritual, mental, and emotional wholeness to the best of our capabilities. That's the job, mamas. So if you're interested in learning more about Mindful Mamas, that program, visit my link that's in here, bit.ly, BB Mindful Mama. Or if you want more of these types of talks, if you want support around mindfulness, self-care, gratitude, meditation, intentional living, join my mama community. It is free. I'm offering so much of it to you for free. But you have to make the choice to become your best self and to prioritize all of these teachings for your children. So that's it. That was my real talk. You might find me tomorrow dancing or later on today dancing, but right now I had to get on and just tell you the truth. That we as mamas and we as society, we need to start checking our values, seeing what's truly important. Not even going to get into the politics of it all. So I'm sending you so much love and light, and I say all this with sincere gratitude. Thank you so much for allowing me to share your space and energy today. And I would love to hear what you think about what I just said. Drop your comments and thoughts below. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to start the conversation about true legacy making.